We have over 220 alum on campus this weekend, and without your hard work and dedication, this wouldn't be possible. Please give them a round of applause. I'd also like to take this opportunity to recognize Michael Gallagher, Westover's outstanding photography teacher, who after 30 years on campus is retiring this June. Mr. Gallagher will be missed as a teacher, a colleague, a friend, and as an artist. It's impossible to imagine Westover today without the truly progressive and inventive photo program Mr. G designed. His legacy is now one of the defining offerings of a Westover education, a precedent-setting, state-of-the-art photography program. Yesterday evening, Mr. Gallagher generously donated 2 of his prints, which you can see here on either side of the stage, to Westover's permanent collection. Please join me in thanking Mr. Gallagher for his 30 wonderful years of service to the school. Mr. G, would you like to come up and say a few words? Would you like to come on up? He's asked me to call him Michael many times, but I just can't.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Last night I said a few words about how I got here, so that's been said, so we can move on. Mariah Allen, love you. So 1983, my neighbor Jock Schumacher persuaded me to bring my portfolio to Westover, and I came and looked, and I saw in Red Hall there were the plans of the building, and I saw that there was a room labeled darkroom. And so I've been sort of very curious about the role of photography at Westover for the last 100 years, and it's really couched a lot of my ideas about where it should be 100 years from now. Mariah came up one day down my studio, and she brought this little photograph, and I sort of hung on to it. So Mariah, I apologize, but I will get it back to you. 1914, okay, and it's a photograph of girls in their athletic uniforms, big blouson sleeves, silk tights, but they are taking photographs of each other for their team pictures with these large format view cameras. And so some things change, but some things stay the same, because we still have girls today that are working in a darkroom and using large format cameras. So thank you, Mariah. I feel very connected to the school. So this is my life's work. It's not a job. It's who I am. People ask me who I am. I tell them I'm an artist, I'm an educator, I'm a photographer. And I've been very blessed in landing into this community. The first year I taught, Joe Mulder said, we're going to build a new studio, and it's the envy of most independent schools and a lot of colleges. And it's in that location where girls have had a chance to flourish, and I like the idea of it being a place of their own. The studio is open 24/7, and girls own it, which I think is very important for a young person to have that opportunity of having personal kind of authority and responsibility. And I believe that a lot of the work that comes out, and darn it, our girls have just so distinguished themselves. We've had 14 kids that have been recognized at the very top level of the nation, and routinely we sweep the gold awards in the regional competition. So the achievement is incredible. I'm very proud, but they also have tremendous outside recognition. So I feel that I was very fortunate to arrive here. But when I did see that Westover did have a darkroom in 1909 when it was first built, I was kind of curious, why was that? Is this a finishing school, or is this something else, when it was first conceived by 2 women? And I found that there was a close connection with Gertrude Casebeer, a family friend, who was a confidant and associate of Alfred Stieglitz and the very progressive art movement that was taking place in New York. She's had many exhibitions, MoMA, Met, you go on and on. And there was this recognition. And my sense is that Theodate and Mary saw the education in the 20th century that, as Laszlo Moholy-Nagy once said, the illiterate of the future would be ignorant of camera and pen alike. And somehow I feel that is very, very pressing in our current time, because we have so much identity is being defined almost against our will through social media. And I do believe that it's intrinsic in an education at this level for a young person to be able to go forward and understand how images can be used to define, and then also how to read how other people are presenting things to you. It is a focus this school is being making. And my thought is, where does Westover, I've been here, I started 30 years ago. I feel that we've built a good program with the support of you folks. The alumna are really the people that make what I've done possible through the ability of creating a first-rate place for girls to work, and then giving us the support since. And that really was the 20th century. Westover was the first school in the nation to teach digital photography. We started this in 1989. But we are looking now, where will Westover be 30 years from now? Where will the photography program, where will images in general be 30 years from now? I am retiring. We've gone through a nationwide search, and we've attracted some amazing talent. And the young man that's going to be taking my position starting next year, Caleb Portfolio. Isn't that wonderful? I tell you, there's something about this place, okay? Caleb has been recognized by the state of Connecticut, the Connecticut Commission on the Arts, for his work in new media. And so and he's also very passionately committed to alternative process, large format, color, and darkroom work. So we have a young man whose feet are firmly planted in both the 21st century and in the 20th century. So I really see us in great shape, and I feel that I can pass the reins along. So the last thing I want to mention is the exhibition that's in the Schumacher Gallery, and it was Jock Schumacher that forced me to bring my portfolio here against my wishes, and because I never wanted to be a teacher, and it's the best thing that ever happened in my life, because I mean, what more could any young man ask for than to be paid to teach, to talk, because that's basically what teachers do, right? You stand up and you talk. The exhibition is legacy, and it's not my legacy. It is really, it's the alumna. It's the people that have fired the studio, that have created all of the excitement that's generated in the arts at Westover. So I'm really interested in and want to know, where do we go from here? And I think that's kind of the task that we will be looking at. I know Westover has got a lot of plans, and I am excited about going forward so that 30 years from now somebody will be standing up here and saying what we have achieved. So I'm very, very appreciative of these 3 decades, and I thank you very, very much. And I'm kind of overwhelmed by the honors. Last night I was kind of embarrassed. I was wondering who was this person that they were talking about. So I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now begin the meeting with a report from our secretary, class of '72, Joan Gerster.
Morning. Wait a minute. They only work if you wear them, I found out. Welcome to you all. In an effort to be green, the minutes from last May's Alumni Association annual meeting have been posted on the portal. They're on the screen in front of you, and there are some copies in Red Hall if you'd like to have them. Having said that, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of the 2012 annual meeting? Do I hear a second? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Any abstentions? Thank you very much. Okay, that's the first hat. The second hat is Tibby Uhl is the treasurer, but she's not here this weekend because her daughter's graduating from college, so I am going to be giving her report in her stead. So I'd like to present the Board of Governors Treasurer's report in Tibby's absence. She's the class of '78. And to bring you up to date, I'm happy to announce that the Board of Governors' budget is on track and fiscally sound. As of today, about a month shy of the close of the fiscal year 2013, our general ledger balance is $7,370.92. I don't know where that other 8 cents went, but it's too bad. As I'm sure you know, our mission as governors is to find a way to connect current students and alumni of all ages of the school. Our primary source of income for funding events in pursuit of this mission is the gift shop, which provides us with our annual budget of about $8,000. Your gift shop purchases go to fund our freshman tea, our regional networking gatherings. I hope you've been able to visit some of those, and our senior dinner, just to name a few. So your takeaway message from Tibby's report is to please go visit the gift shop in Red Hall, to shop till you drop. You'll look fabulous in your new Westover gear, and more importantly, you'll be helping us to foster the kinds of Westover connections that will last a lifetime. And before I thank you for your time, I'm going to be introducing Piper Morris, class of '59, who will give the governance report. And thank you very much.
Good morning. I would like to present to you 2 slates for your acceptance this morning. First is the slate of nominations for membership on the Board of Governors for the coming year, 2013-14. This slate has been unanimously accepted and recommended by the full board for the Alumni Association's vote of acceptance. To serve an initial 3-year term through May 2016, Robin Cruz McLern, class of '83 from Summit, New Jersey. Kelly Agnew Medvigi, class of '96, Catonsville, Maryland. Stephanie Lafrere Mercado, class of '86 from Wilton, Connecticut. And Susan Handy Stover, class of '70 from Peapack, New Jersey. Do I have a motion to accept the slate as presented? Second? All in favor? There being no nominations from the floor, the slate of proposed new governors is approved as presented. Congratulations to all. Now I present to you for your vote the proposed slate of officers for the Board of Governors beginning now. President Ann Clark Priftis, 96. Vice President Lee Vol Steele, 87. Secretary Joan Gerster, 72. Treasurer Izukani Emegwali, 01. Member at Large Cece Campbell, 78. Chair of the Governance Committee, replacing me, Abigail Mason Brown, 61. And Chair of the Annual Fund, Maura Tansley, 00. Do I have a motion to accept the slate as presented? Second? All in favor? There being no nominations from the floor, the 2013 slate of proposed officers of the Board of Governors is approved as presented. Thank you. Lastly, I would like to thank our retiring governors for their years of service to Westover. Stacey Ann Cass, 95, Hillary C. Lynch, 85, Kirsten Talk Mahar, 87, and Tibby Ewell, 78. I'm getting there. It's my sister. She does that all the time. All of those governors who are retiring and all the governors who are still governors have been wonderful, loyal, committed to Westover, and very hardworking on behalf of the school. I should add, too, that I'm retiring after my 6 years, 2 terms under the Board of Governors. We will all miss this active, productive, collegial board, and of course Westover itself. Not to say we can't come back, but not as governors. It has been a great time working with the board, and I and all of us thank you so much for the opportunity to serve. Thank you. Well, you'll have to introduce yourself.
Good morning. I'm Maura Tansley, or Mo as I'm known here at Westover, Chair of the Annual Fund. I'm very happy to be here with you this morning to announce the progress of the Annual Fund. As of today, we have raised $1,258,976 in gifts and pledges towards our whole goal of $1.5 million. These are terrific results, but there is more work to do. I'm often asked, what does my gift support? Please know that your gift supports many facets of Westover. Restoration of dorm room floors, new carpeting on corridor, a new van for student transportation, new uniforms for sports teams, financial aid for students, and most importantly, the flexibility to respond to new and exciting initiatives spearheaded by both our faculty and our students. You are an important component in helping to continue a tradition of success here at Westover. You are the reason that Westover proudly boasts one of the highest alumni participation rates in annual fund giving compared to any of our peer schools. This year, however, we are slightly behind pace, and Ms. Porter's is nipping at our heels. And I will never not be a soccer player against Ms. Porter's. I have that competitive spirit still. So if you have never made a gift to the annual fund, now is the time. If you've given in the past and have not made your gift yet this year, now is the time. If you're a loyal annual fund supporter and you're considering increasing your gift, now is the time. And I thank you for that. Today, after lunch and your class photo, a member of the Board of Governors will host your class meetings. These meetings were a great success last year, and we're excited to continue the tradition. The meeting is an opportunity for our Board of Governors to speak directly with you, our alumni, and ask for your insights, your suggestions on alumni activities, to update you on the annual fund, and to thank all of our volunteers, including our annual fund volunteers. Each year, the annual fund formally recognizes our volunteers who have achieved outstanding success in raising dollars and participation from their classes. The Julia P. Curlin Award is presented to the fundraising volunteers of the reunion class that has achieved the most exceptional results in support of the annual fund. This year's volunteers are from the class of 1968. And would you please come forward? Adeline Gwynn Kurtz, Lee Kaiser Phillips, Whitney Neville Harvey, and Patricia Simmons Taylor. The Adele Irvin Award is presented to the class agent or agents of a non-reunioning class with the best results in participation and increase in total giving to the annual fund. This year's volunteers are from the class of 1996. They are Katia Alexi and Christina Bielo Cosmos. The Alumni Board of Governors Award is presented to the class from the most recent 15 years with the highest percentage participation in annual fund support. This year's volunteers are from the class of 2003. Please come forward as well. Sarah Bronco, Karima Gottschalk, Emery Pomeroy Schneider, and Danielle Stewart Nope. As you know, Westover is in the middle of a comprehensive $45 million campaign, the Inspiring Women Campaign for Westover. Here to tell you more about the campaign is Martha Bacon Martin, class of 1965, co-chair of the campaign.
Thank you, Maura. It gives me great pleasure to be here with you this morning to give you an update on the campaign. Many people, when they hear I'm asking for money, say, I can't believe you can do that. It seems the hardest thing in the world, and yet for me, I think of it as an opportunity to meet many alumni from all over the country, and it's easy to sell a product that you really believe in. I'm not doing this alone. I have some wonderful co-chairs in Beth Smith Golden, class of 65, and Sarah Belcher Wardell, class of 60. We also have a wonderful supportive campaign steering committee: Francine Young, Louisa Palmer, Nikki Weaver, Lolly McMurray Cooper, and Muppy Green, and Hillary Lynch, along with all trustees and former trustees who have worked diligently on behalf of this campaign, and members of the alumni and development staff who support us in this effort. Barbara Sabia, Director of Development, Bart Geisinger, Director of Major Gifts and Campaign Coordinator, Paul Sutherland, Director of Planned Gifts, and Lauren Fixlin Castagnola, Director of the Annual Fund. They are all available throughout most of the weekend to answer your questions about the campaign. We could not have done this without them. Our Inspiring Women campaign has a goal of $45 million, $35 million targeted for endowment, and $10 million for the annual fund. To date, we have raised $40 million and are 85% toward the goal. This represents over 15,000 gifts from 3,339 donors. The campaign is all about inspiring women and investing in those inspiring women. This weekend, you will see firsthand the power of a Westover education. You will meet Westover students who are inspiring women, women who want to go out and change the world. You will renew friendships with Westover alumni who are inspiring women, women who have, in all kinds of ways, make and continue to make a mark on the world. You will hear from Westover's remarkable leaders, Ann Polina, Ann Priftis, and Francine Young, more inspiring women who lead Westover on its quest to arm this world with creative thinkers, problem solvers, and agents of change. Our Inspiring Women campaign is all about you. You got us here, and many, many alums, parents, and friends who couldn't be with us today join you. Thank you for your generosity and unwavering support of Westover and women's education. The class of 1963 took on a challenge of raising cash, pledges, and planned gifts for an endowment fund titled the Class of 63 Faculty Enrichment Memorial Fund for the annual fund in honor of their 50th reunion. By raising comprehensive funds for the Inspiring Women campaign, the class is making a tremendous impact on the campaign and on Westover. I'd like to thank reunion committee members Louise Bailey Connor, Mary Dobbin Greeley, Nikki Johnson Weaver, Lolly McMurray Cooper, Beth Markham Nicholson, Allison Wardrop, and Mary Turner Tackett for their tireless commitment for their class gift, and to thank you for the entire class for your philanthropic support of the endowment and the annual fund. Please stand to be recognized. And I'd like to ask everyone here this morning who has made a pledge to the campaign to stand and be recognized. And for anyone who has not participated in the campaign, there's still time. And you can do so in 3 ways. 1, with a new, renewed, or increased annual fund gift, with a gift to the endowment, and for the classes celebrating their 50th reunion and beyond, a planned gift can also count towards the campaign. All of these gifts are included in this campaign. I hope you will consider being as generous as you can, knowing that your generosity is helping to make this world a better place. If all of our 4,500 alumni, parents, and friends were to give $12,000 a year, that's just $100 a month, we would exceed our goal. Thank you very much.
The town meeting is now officially adjourned, but please keep your seat. I'd like to introduce you to the new president of the Board of Trustees, class of '71, Francine Young.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be back. I had a great time last night. I hope that you all did as well. And again, I want to thank Ann Priftis, the Board of Governors, all the class volunteers for all the hard work that they've put into making the reunion a success. And I especially want to thank Nancy Pelias. Where are you, Nancy? She's probably walking around. There she is, for all of her work as an alum. And also the support of the Alumni and Development Office for the countless hours that they put into making reunion success, all the events a success, the rattling behind the scenes that we don't see. So let's give the staff a hand as well. As a member of the Board of Trustees, it really is an honor to serve the school, and there are a couple of things I want to just bring your attention to that we're working on, and one is certainly getting to the finish line for the Inspiring Women campaign. So that is a very important project for us, and all the trustees have made a commitment to go out and do what we can to contact alum, contact others to make sure that we can reach that $45 million goal. So we will be working very hard to make sure that we get there. There's another part that we're working on as well, which is a longer range plan around Westover and what's in the future for us. As Michael mentioned, when he even talked about photography, what's next? So we spend a lot more time thinking strategically about where is Westover placed, how are we as a girls' school in this country, and how are we going to remain viable? So we are actually looking at a master plan, and we'll start working on that a lot more with a lot more focus this coming fall. But one of the things that you've probably noticed is a little bit of refurbishing of Red Hall. Yeah? All right. That was very good. That was a part of a project that we started where we said, so what do we do? We love Red Hall. You know, needless to say, when you say, well, they're going to do something to Red Hall, you can hear the, right? So we put together a facilities team, and we had a member of the Board of Governors who was part of that facilities team who is almost single-handedly responsible for the wonderful refurbishing of Red Hall. So, Christine Dahl, I'm going to ask you to come forward. She's not expecting this. Come on up. While Christine is on her way up, one of the things that I want to highlight is how happy I am about the increased collaboration between the Board of Governors and the Board of Trustees, and I think this demonstrates what we can do when we work together. So I want you to come over here. stand on this side. You're going to be front and center. At our April meeting, the Board of Trustees presented the following resolution that I want to read to you. Whereas Christine Muldowney Dahl, class of '82, is a devoted alumni, parent, and member of the Alumni Association of the Board of Governors, and whereas Christine has served with distinction on the Facilities Team Task Force of the Westover School Board of Trustees during 2012 and 2013 academic year, providing countless hours of invaluable service, and whereas the design and leadership of the March 2013 restoration of Red Hall was executed with respect for its historic tradition and vision for contemporary enhancement. Therefore, let it be resolved that the Board of Trustees of Westover School express its sincere gratitude to Christine Muldowney Dahl, class of '82, for her miraculous and generous restoration of Red Hall. Signed the 20th day of April, 2013. So. We also have a gift from the students. So on behalf of the students of Westover, who took pictures as things were happening, they put together a wonderful photograph of the various designs, and each of them signed it. So on behalf of the students, we thank you as well. I won't take this home. I'll take it down. I promise. No, I got it. So in closing, again, I want to thank everyone for your support. Ask you to seriously consider helping us to meet our goal with the Inspiring Women campaign. We will continue to do the work that is needed to make Westover viable, sustainable, and well-known throughout the country. We're working very hard to make sure that our trustees come from around the country. I come in from Houston. We have people from Tennessee, California, etc., because that's where we all come from. So again, I want to thank you, and I want to turn it now over to our head mistress, Ann Polina.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming back to campus. I hope it still feels like home to you. Each spring, I have a conversation with seniors as they're preparing to graduate. I ask them to imagine they're back on campus for their 10th year reunion and they see some changes. I ask them to describe the changes that would just break their heart to see, as well as changes that they would look at and say, well, it's about time they did that. In the years I've been doing this, there's an absolutely clear pattern. The changes that they would like to see are very personal and very diffuse. They may have something to do with better facilities for a particular activity, a sport or a class, easier procedures for signing in or out, permissions, things like that. As I say, widely diffuse. But the things that would break their heart to see change are remarkably the same from year to year and from student to student. There are 4 of them. And for me, they've come to represent what I think of as the immutable heart of Westover. Let me tell you what the 4 are. The first is all girls and the atmosphere that it engenders. The second is our traditions and how they support the community of the school. The third are the strength of the student body and being surrounded by students with seriousness of purpose. And the fourth are close relationships with an excellent faculty. So I want to say those 4 things because they are and will continue to be the ground on which we build. But we do continue to build. As you walk around campus this weekend, you're going to see some changes, some of them like our new security system, a sad reminder of the harsh realities of our current world, and some of them like our newly refurbished Red Hall, a visible link to our traditional past. But I hope you see behind the obvious as well. I hope you catch some of the electricity and excitement of a school on the move, because I believe that's who we are. We're 100 years old, we're proud of our traditions and our rich history, but we're prouder still of the leadership we've taken in 21st century education. Working with an experienced and gifted faculty, we constantly ask two questions at Westover. First, what are the historical traditions and practices that are fundamental to academic excellence, and how do we not lose sight of those? And secondly, what new understandings, practices, technologies must we adopt in order to continue to be at the vanguard of teaching and learning? And we, as I say, we discussed this as a faculty, and I want to say a little bit about our answers to both of these questions. I'm going to start with the second, the new understandings, practices, and technologies we must adopt. This is one of the most pivotal and exciting times in education, certainly since I've been teaching for years. And there really are three reasons why it is such a strikingly interesting time. The first of those is technology. Technology appropriately used is expanding our classrooms and our lives. It's allowing innovative schools like Westover to have really more time to work with students beyond the acquisition of fact to the construction of knowledge. Technology is giving us the ability to flip our classrooms, allowing students to use video pre-recorded by the teacher to deliver the facts, and freeing class time for creative problem solving and for class discussion. Online courses taught by those who really understand how girls learn enrich our curriculum. So schools like Westover, who are ready to make the best use of technology while preserving the connections that are so critical, that are the hidden wholeness of true education, are really positioned to be leaders in this next century. The second reason this is one of the most exciting times, I think, in education is because our girls are citizens of the world in ways that are absolutely unprecedented in other generations. Their lives and their work are going to be shaped by other countries and other cultures on a regular basis, and they can start that right here, right now, at Westover. At Westover, 19% of our students are international. That includes our exchange programs. They hail from 17 different countries. We strive to have no more than 2 students in each grade from any one country in the hope of creating here the kind of pluralism that is going to be a part of the lives of these girls for the rest of their lives. Our ongoing exchange programs with Jordan, South Africa, England, France, Spain, Australia, Rwanda allow our own students to be immersed in other cultures as well. And the third, and probably most important reason why I think this is one of the most exciting times for education, and particularly for us, is because we are a school for young women. At Westover, we believe that women will have a more critical role than ever in the next century, and we have work to do. The United States ranks 77th in the world in female legislative representation, and by the way, that puts us behind Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Serbia, the Sudan, and a number of other countries. Only 18% of our Congress are women. Only 12% of the mayors of the 100 largest cities in the United States are women. Only 4% of the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies are women. It's not that we're not making strides. Tom Brokaw recently reminded us that a woman is the leader of House Democrats. There are 3 women who sit on the U.S. Supreme Court. For the first time, we have a woman who's been appointed head of the Secret Service. The new director of the Securities and Exchange Commission, one of the most important regulatory agencies in this country, is a woman. Half of the Ivy League presidents right now, half of the Ivy League schools have women presidents right now. So again, extraordinary changes being made, but a gap to close as well. At Westover, we'd like to believe that our girls learn to lead in preparation of being part of the solution of global problems that face us. Nicholas Kristof has written that as the central moral challenge of the 19th century was slavery, and the central moral challenge of the 20th century was totalitarianism, in our century, in the 21st century, the central moral challenge is gender equity. It is seen as the surest way to make lasting change in third world countries, in third world economies, and the surest and most efficient road to world peace. It will be women reaching out to their sisters across the globe, helping, sustaining, supporting, that enables that change. At Westover, we believe those of us lucky enough to have access to the kind of education that Westover provides will be the key in this global change. We do this right now. If you ask any of our students why that's important, I think she'll say something like this. Wonderful. Earlier, Mo talked about what it is that you support when you support Westover. That's what you support. You support girls. And that is the most important thing you can do. So yes, you, our current alumni and our current students, the future of humanity. Sounds like a big deal. It is. We take it seriously. The advancement of women is nothing new for us. Over 25 years ago, Westover, in an effort to respond to the fact that the number of girls and women engaged in the study and practice of science and engineering was woefully small, Westover began our Women in Science and Engineering, our WISE program. And to this day, that program produces exceptional results. I'm just going to hand you last year's. I think this year's are going to be even better. But last year, 18% of the girls in the state of Connecticut who passed the Advanced Placement Computer Science exam were from Westover's WISE program. 22% of the girls in the state of Connecticut who scored at the highest level in that program were from Westover. So here we are, a school of 200, producing nearly a quarter of the top scores in the state of Connecticut. And by the way, those are mostly 10th graders for us. So. That same interest in making sure that girls are at the table in the growing world of online education led Westover to be one of 4 schools in partnership with Harpeth Hall in Tennessee, Holton Arms in Maryland, and the Laurel School in Ohio to begin a bold new venture, OSG, the Online School for Girls, dedicated to developing online courses that our research tells us work exceptionally well with girls' methods of education in mind. OSG has now expanded to a consortium of 20 schools across the country that are engaged in this project. What about that CEO statistic that I mentioned earlier? We're working on that one too. We're helping to develop a program in business and economics. It's called IIG, Invest in Girls, that will grow the future leaders, we hope, in these fields as well. Currently, we have 14 11th graders and 22 10th graders enrolled in that project. So lots of exciting, new, cutting-edge things happening at Westover. But I want to not close these remarks without returning to the first question that I mentioned. What are the historical traditions and practices that are fundamental to academic excellence? I want to return there because I think that as much as I am excited about many of our new initiatives, I think that the heart of Westover shines through in the practice that is most fundamental to academic excellence, and it's been a part of Westover as long as I have known Westover, and I'm sure as long as the school has been here. And that is that the creation of an intentional educational community, a place that's not just for the sharing of the intellect, but for the growth of the soul. The person-to-person connection that students make with their teachers and with each other is the bedrock of a Westover education, and it always will be. For us, it means, first of all, that our students work together. They're very supportive of each other in their classrooms, laboratories, playing fields, stages, and studios. They laugh together a lot, but they also stretch out their arms to hold each other when life is no laughing matter. There is no one way to be cool at Westover. Our students admire each other for various accomplishments. You can be cool by being a fabulous scholar or a great musician or a wonderful athlete, a fabulous artist. Our girls don't exclude. They want everyone to be involved. They want everyone to succeed. Our students embrace challenge and take advantage of many different opportunities for leadership, and maybe this follows naturally from the fact that they're surrounded by such camaraderie and support that it breeds a kind of self-confidence that allows students to push themselves, to try things that they may not have tried in other places. Our students are very ambitious, they're willing to work hard, and to take the kind of risks that help you to grow. And our students don't do this alone. Our faculty are chosen not just for their exceptional scholarship, but because they share fundamental moral concerns, a belief in passing on to young women their own enthusiasm for learning, a sense of beauty, responsibility, a compassionate concern for others. In his wonderful book, The Parents We Mean to Be, Rick Weisbord, talks about hard work and resilience. One of the things he says that's really striking is this, that the self becomes stronger and more mature, less by being praised than by being known. And that is one of the things that we try our best to work on at Westover, is not handing out empty compliments, but really knowing each student so well that we can hone in on her strength and make her aware of them. We want to know our students. We want to encourage them to define their passions and their strengths, to teach them to reflect on their own performance, to support them only when they need it, to build resilience and independence. And our advantages in making this happen are threefold: our size, our single gender, and the fact that we are a boarding school. It creates unique opportunities for adult-student interaction. And lastly, and in some ways most importantly, I love this community because it's developed what Al Bloom calls ethical intelligence. We try to grow in our students an understanding that they're smart and talented for a reason, that they have work to do with their lives, that they're responsible for being good citizens of this country and dependable stewards of this earth. They know that their real job is to find ways to make the world better because they're in it. And we know this is succeeding. And we know it's succeeding because of you, our graduates. You will shortly be hearing about some of our award-winning alumni. But as I think about our graduates and I read the class notes, I think you're all award-winning alumni. I see again and again examples of our graduates making a difference. They're making differences in their homes, in their communities, in their jobs. And there's a tension there that I want to just say a word about, because it seems as if every year at this time we revisit the whole home career debate for women. 2 years ago, it was a provocative article in The Atlantic by Hannah Rosen proclaiming the end of men. Last year, in June, Princeton professor Anne-Marie Slaughter described why women can't have it all. And this year, Sheryl Sandberg, her advice in her new book, Lean In, has re-sparked the debate. And now there's a lean in, lean out controversy. And the perennial question seems to be this: do women belong in the home or in the workplace? And the only answer to that question is yes. Yes, women belong in the home and in the workplace. Women belong wherever good judgment, determination, wisdom, and skill are required in our world. We have real work to do, and spending time trying to figure out which is more important, home, career, or family, is a waste of our time. Both of these are critical roles for women. And I spoke of women as Westover as growing women leaders, and I think we do that in the truest sense of the word. We grow women who take control of their lives, and to me, that's the definition of a woman leader. We grow women who make decisions that are right for them and right for those whose lives they touch. And it is that act of decision-making that is the truest act of leadership. As my friend Pat Hayo and I say all the time, it's being the subject of your own life, not the object of someone else's. Westover right now, the Westover today, stands on the shoulders of giants, and those giants are you, our alumni. Your support of the school is what allows us to grow the next generation of young women leaders. Young women like Heza Feliz, who's going to speak to you in a moment. Heza is a 4-year senior from the Bronx, New York. And she captured the room a few weeks ago when, very off the cuff, she made some remarks to her classmates about their importance in her life. And she'll always regret that she did that, because now she's on the hook to have to speak today. And we did ask her to share a few of those remarks with you today, because I think that your understanding of the importance of this community as it continues, and the importance of the alumni connections with our current students, is really important. So thank you, and let me present Heza.
Thank you, Mrs. Polina. Good morning, alumni, soon to be fellow alumni. I'm Heza Feliz, a senior boarder from the Bronx, New York. It's unbelievable to think that in 2 weeks I'll be graduating from Westover. I feel so old. 4 years ago, this girl you see before you today was sitting in a classroom at the Urban Science Academy in the South Bronx. Never being challenged at school made all of my work a breeze. That was until my 7th grade year, where my teacher, Dina Simmons, Westover graduate of the class of 2001, made it a point to challenge us. She would rewrite the curriculum just for us because she knew that what we were learning wasn't going to prepare us for high school. It may have seemed unfair to the other classes, but she had taken the initiative to try to have some impact for at least a small group of kids. Her vision to make a difference in our learning pushed me to work harder, and I was excelling in the class. Dina moved up with us to be our 8th grade teacher, and this is when I was introduced to Westover. There were 2 other girls in the class that she had mentioned Westover to, but she had seen something in me that made her push me even further to ensure that I would end up coming here. Thanks to her perseverance and faith in me, I am here today, days away from receiving my diploma. She believed in me just like Amanda Burden, Westover class of 1962, believed in Dina. Amanda told Dina of Westover and funded her to attend. Dina took Amanda's gift and paid it forward to me. It is the eye of seeing the endless capabilities of people that I believe all Westover girls develop during their time here. We push each other constantly while pushing ourselves. We want to make a difference in the world, so we take initiative and become leaders. I am proud to say that I have been surrounded by this amazing group of girls for the past 4 years, and I wouldn't have wanted to have my high school experience any other way. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy this short video that we put together to answer the question, why Westover?
Westover was actually the only all-girls school that I looked at, which I think really shows how it sets itself apart, considering it was Westover against a whole bunch of co-ed schools.
I chose all-girls school because I felt like the friendships were truer and things that happen here wouldn't be able to happen at a co-ed school. Like, we wouldn't be able to have the type of friendships and the activities that we have and be as silly as we are in a co-ed school.
Like, just walking in, it's kind of not like a school, it's almost like a big yellow house, and everyone was so friendly that, like, you just wanted to go there as soon as you came.
I swim. I am in Glee. I take voice lessons. I'm also the head of an a cappella group called Overtones, and I'm a proctor.
I am one of the 3 heads of WALSA, which is Westover's African American and Latina Student Alliance. It is the diversity club at Westover. Besides that, I am also in gospel choir.
I play squash. I'm on the varsity squash team, varsity field hockey. I am a head of the Glee Club. I'm second head, and I sing in Overtones, which is one of our a cappella groups. I sing in chamber choir, which is another a cappella group.
I think that the reason for an all-girls school is to allow the girls to gain the confidence that they might not otherwise do in a co-ed environment. On the whole, our girls gain that confidence in the 4 years that they're here at a much faster rate than they would in a co-ed environment.
I would say I chose all girls because of its lack of pressure. You are never worrying about who's going out with who or what you're wearing because you're just with a bunch of girls who really don't care.
I play 3 sports, all varsity: varsity soccer, varsity tennis, and varsity squash. I am also the head of the Ultimate Frisbee Club, which we haven't done anything yet, but we will in the spring.
Well, my favorite Westover memory was during field hockey season when we beat Cheshire by 1.
Westover, in one word, I would say is community.
Westover is energetic. In one word, Westover is community.
In one word, Westover is strong.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Enriching.
Westover, in one word, is enriching.
When I am not here studying, I either go to the dances with the other girls' schools and all boys' schools. I also go to the movies or to the mall.
I think Westover in one word would actually be community because everyone is just cheering you on and you never have people trying to bring you down. We're all just one group trying to go headstrong into this massive work, but everyone is loving you while you do it.
My favorite class is Steinbeck and Hemingway, taught by Kristen White, because she's a really interesting teacher. She teaches discussion-based classes where we can really show our own thoughts on the book while discussing with our classmates our different views.
On the weekends, usually I catch up on some sleep, obviously. Art classes are on Saturdays. Usually we'll have a swim meet or a cross-country meet or a regatta. And then Saturday nights, you may be a dance, or Friday nights, maybe a poetry reading.
I think that all girls is easier. I think that
Because there aren't boys in class, we don't have to worry about what we say, and it also makes us stronger as individuals so we can be more confident.
My favorite class would be my AP Psych class that I am taking thanks to the OSG, the online school for girls.
I chose an all-girls school because of the community. When I first visited, I felt like it was a really warm and welcoming place where people could be individuals but still be a part of a team and work in a completely unique classroom environment.
The friends I've made are the best in an all-girls school. Leaving, I'm more confident in the classroom.
My favorite Westover memory is rallying when I spray painted myself green and we went around cheering and just yelling with all my friends, Wests and Overs.
I think my favorite memory at Westover was freshman year candlelight, sitting next to my best friend and my roommate in candlelight, and just the beauty of the service and the way that it looked and then the way that we felt was really one of my favorite things. You leave Westover just a very well-rounded individual.
One of my favorite memories of Westover is the lanterns ceremony, which is one of our traditions that really makes you feel like you're part of a special place.
My favorite Westover memory is probably just like spring term, because spring term, the campus looks so pretty, and there's usually like a softball game going on, and the field is right under the dorm, so you can watch from your room, or you can just go on the stairs and like hang out with all your friends.
I think it's very family-oriented here. Everybody, it's a wonderful community.
My favorite Westover memory was freshman year New Girl Camp. It was a bonding experience. We were all like having fun. Some people were trying to sleep, but that's okay. We were getting to know each other.
Westover is community. Westover, for me, in one word, is happy.
Westover's comfortable.
Westover is different.
Westover is community.
For me, Westover is home.
Good morning. One of Westover's distinguished alumna is here to be honored and recognized for her achievements. She's been a creative force to be reckoned with since her graduation in 1998. Following Westover, she studied contemporary poetry and photography at Yale, earning her degree in English and a host of awards, including the J. Veitch Prize for Distinguished Writing, the Clapp Prize for Poetry, the Michael Manzella Fellowship, and a Richter Travel Grant. She subsequently earned her master's in writing from the Johns Hopkins Writing Seminars. She's been widely published for her poems, translations, and reviews. Her English translation of Norman Mania's The Lair was published by Yale University Press, Norman Mania being Romania's most famous contemporary author. Then in 2004, she traveled to Romania to begin working in film. Her short film, Sunset, which she wrote and directed, was screened to critical acclaim at international film festivals in both the US and Europe. Her years at Westover deeply fostered her interest in poetry, stating, "Westover offers a first-class education in poetry. I have yet to hear of any other place like it." Please join me in congratulating the 2013 winner of the Distinguished Young Alumna Award, Juana Sanziana Marian, class of 1998. Please accept your award.
Thank you very much. I'm 33 and I've been genuinely and sincerely rejoicing as many of my friends have gotten married and had kids. And I hold this quote by Amy Poehler. If some of you know her, she's a writer and a comedian. I hold this quote very close to my heart. Honestly, genuinely, be prepared to be broke for 15 years. And if you can do that, if you can hang on for 10 years with no money while the rest of your friends buy houses and have babies, and you can try to create your own stuff and work with the right people, something will happen. So I'm thinking this maybe has been my 15 years. And things are starting to happen. So I just want to thank Westover for inspiring and nurturing the creative impulse in me and allowing me to be able to take a path that was different from others. I've kept in touch with Bruce Coffin, who is I think probably the most influential person in my life when I was younger, and continues to be an editor in fact and also in my brain. So thank you very much.
The recipient of this year's Mariah Allen Volunteer Service Award is Lee Kaiser Phillips, class of '68. She's a practicing attorney in Burlington, Vermont, with a BA from the University of Pennsylvania and a law degree from Villanova. Her volunteer services for the school fall into many categories and speak strongly about her love for the school and her commitment to pay it back over the years. Lee has been her class agent since 1968. If you're still good in arithmetic, that's 45 years. When she graduated. In addition to being a consistent giver to the annual fund, which you heard about earlier, she has served as reunion gift chair and hosts an outside reunion for her classmates every 5 years. Beyond her volunteer work with her class, Lee was a trustee from 1996 to 2002. In recognition of these volunteer contributions to Westover, the Board of Governors is pleased to present Lee Kaiser Phillips with the Mariah Allen Volunteer Service Award. Lee, would you please come forward? Can you come stand on this side?
I can't believe they got my yearbook picture and put it up here. I would like to thank the Board of Governors for this award. When Sue called me to tell me I was receiving it, I was just sort of stunned. It was nothing I expected, but I'm greatly honored because my mother, who is Lenke Ainger Trumbull, class of '48, has also been a recipient of this award. Unfortunately, my mother could not be here today, but I do want to credit her with starting my volunteer career. At age 10, she started me stuffing envelopes for the local hospital. True, there was a chocolate eclair, good humor bar as incentive, but I was raised to give back to community. And over the years, I have served on many nonprofit boards. I have done many volunteer activities in my community in Vermont. But most important to me has been the volunteer work at Westover, whether it was as class agent or as a trustee. And it's for two reasons. One, the education I got here. It prepared me for college, law school, and my career. I mean, it was a phenomenal education. And my daughter, who's a class of 1997, was in the WISE program that you just heard about, and she had an incredible educational experience. So it is very important for us to support the school to continue the education it provides for its students. And the second reason, if I can get through this, is my class. They have put up with me sending them letters every fall for 45 years asking for contributions to the annual fund. When we were all here at Westover, I don't think we realized the bonds that we were creating. And over the years outside of Westover, it has developed into a community of women who has been uniquely supportive in their friendship of each other. And that's something very special. So, though I am very grateful and very appreciative of this award, I can get through this. In reality, my thanks to the Board of Governors, but in reality, it has always been an honor and a privilege to be I can do this, to be a volunteer at Westover and its community. Thank you.
Good morning. Wow, this is loud. Okay. It is my honor to present the 2013 Westover Award to Heather Minella Nuso. Heather is an alumna from the class of 1991. She began her teaching career the year after finishing her degree. She spent a number of years as a teacher and an administrator for the Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth summer programs, but her full-time teaching has all been here at Westover. Heather started teaching bio and regular chemistry and then progressed through teaching regular, honors, and AP physics. She has also served as Dorcas advisor, sophomore class dean, yearbook advisor, and Associate Dean of Faculty. Heather took over as the Science Department Chair 2 years ago and has been the Online School for Girls coordinator since its inception. In addition, Heather wrote and had published an article titled Success, Sanity, and Satisfaction, the Care and Feeding of a New Online Teacher, which can be found on the National Association of Independent Schools website. I would now like to read the award citation. The Westover Award for 2013, presented by the Board of Governors of the Westover School Alumni Association to Heather Minella Nuso, in recognition of your breadth of knowledge in the field of science and unflagging encouragement as you challenge your students to do their best. Your willingness to explore new technologies and to enhance time-tested teaching techniques with blended learning concepts and flipped classrooms. Your instrumental help in establishing the Online School for Girls, the first ever consortium of all-girls schools to offer online educational opportunities for girls across the United States, and your dedication to its continued growth. We recognize and applaud your selection as a National Association of Independent Schools Teacher of the Future. We appreciate and honor your innovative ideas and teaching techniques which excite and inspire our young women. You truly live the Westover motto, to think, to do, to be. Heather, please come up to receive your award.
Morning, everyone. Oh, I wasn't expecting my yearbook photo either, so I'll be brief. I know we all want to get to lunch. I want to thank the Board of Governors for this amazing honor. It was completely unexpected when Susie called me a couple months ago. But I want to just take a minute to talk about little moments, because those are what, as teachers, keep us going. Whether it's a moment when you're working with a student and they really finally get it, or you're talking to your colleagues and you have a great idea. Excuse me. And I almost wasn't a teacher, is where I should really kind of begin this story. I was that student who was terrified of speaking in front of groups. Like the kind of person who you really felt sorry for when they had to get up there, because I would sweat and look like I was going to pass out. And it was my teachers here at Westover who made me start thinking about being a teacher. I mean, many of the people who you all have had as teachers, the Hallorans, Melinda Burbank, Bruce Coffin, Seamus, Ann Polina. Where's Ann? This story's going to be about you. And I thought about being a teacher because I saw how inspired they were as teachers. But then I thought about getting up in front of a group of people 5 times a day, and I thought there's no way I could possibly do it. And so after college, I went back and forth, and I couldn't quite make myself apply to grad school. My family encouraged me, but I couldn't quite make that step. And then I happened to run into Ann Polina at the local grocery store one day, and I don't know if she remembers this conversation, and she wanted to know what I was doing after college. And I said I thought about teaching, but I didn't think I could do it because I was so scared. And she said, and I'll never forget, when they're your own students in your own classroom, it's totally different than anything you've ever done before. And she said, try it. You'll never know until you try it. And I went home, and not long after that, with the encouragement of my family and friends and the words of Ann in my mind, I applied to grad school, and I've been here ever since. And I realized as I was thinking about this award and what I would say, if you count my 4 years as a student and my 17 years now teaching here, I've been at Westover for 21 years. And that's more than half my life. So it's safe to say, I think, that aside from my family, Westover's been the single most influential aspect of my life. And it's not the place. The place is beautiful and wonderful, but it's the people. It was my classmates and teachers when I was a student. It's my students and colleagues now that I'm a teacher that make it such an amazing place to be and an amazing place to stay. So thank you so much. I wouldn't have been able to do all of these things without Westover and the people around me. So thank you.
Thank you all so much for coming this morning. And just a couple of things before you head out. The class of '63 has lunch right now at the Lee House. Everyone else will have lunch out on the quad. And please make it a point to attend all the afternoon classes and seminars that the students have put so much effort into putting together for you. And enjoy the weekend.